Well, Mike, I don't have a choice per se. I'd like to see it come down to the final hole again, and that maybe a birdie on the last would decide it. I like Watts.
And I'll second that, Steve. I'm going to go with Brian Watts. He has just shown nerves of steel, great composure. He has battled through the elements so bravely in this championship. The only player the first 2 days to shoot in the 60s, 68, 69. And so, Curtis, I'm picking Brian Watts.
I like Mark O'Meara for 2 reasons. He is the best putter of this twosome, and he is a major championship winner this year. He's won the Masters. He's been here before. He's been here before in the British Open. He has some confidence. Brian Watts has not been here.
Well, it's a tie, so we might as well just let them play it off, shall we?
Oh, you have no... Come on, you're not going to get out that easy, partner.
O'Meara. They start at 15, and Roger Twibel has the call at the par 5.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. 21 birdies at this par 5 today.
If you guys are agreeable, I reckon it's heads Mark drives and tails you drive. Okay, which one? Tail. That's a tail? The head on the other side. Tails you drive, heads you drive. Here we go. Come on, Brian.
Gordon Huddy from the R&A, the referee. And the flip of the coin to decide who will tee off first. Neither of these players birdied this par 5 today. Both made pars. As a matter of fact, O'Meara has made pars every day here at the 15th. Watts did birdie at the first day and pars the other 3 days.
Mark hit an excellent tee shot here about an hour ago. The wind still comes across from the left and hurts the player just a little.
Yes.
It looks like it's going to be okay. It looks like he'll probably be able to carry those 3 cross bunkers 180, 190 yards from his ball.
Okay, same again, please. Nice and quiet, please.
But whatever, it's better than those 3 pot bunkers on the left. We can see a lot of the ball. At least he'll be able to advance it forward far enough to knock it on in 3.
So both Watts and O'Meara have teed off at the first playoff hole at 15 to determine the championship of the British Open. The first playoff hole, the par 5 15th, measuring 544 yards. We saw a brief glimpse of it before we went to break. What's the lie?
Not terrific. The ball will be above his feet. It is not in such long grass, but some of the kind of viney stuff that lays low is around the ball. He has to address all the little bunkers right and left and in the fairway.
Judy, there's 2 bunkers that are probably about 130 or 40 yards from him on each side. You want to avoid those, but then there's 2 more beyond that. So
yeah, definitely.
It looks like the play is to probably lay up of all of the bunkers. He has a lofted club out. But again, being a 4-hole playoff, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot on the first hole. Play smart.
Thank you. Safely in the fairway there for Brian Watts, his second shot at this par 5. And Mark O'Meara will be next.
In the light rough, the lie is not real bad. Not as good as it would be in the fairway. 271 yards all the way to the hole.
guys got to move back a little bit there.
Come on, guys.
Thanks.
But just a little better than 240
Good solid swing, partner.
to the front of the putting surface.
And probably about 190 yards to carry the 3 cross bunkers.
Come on. Come on.
So O'Meara's second shot in very good shape, to the left of where he was just a little while ago when he played this hole during regulation. So Mark O'Meara and Brian Watts make their way up the 15th fairway, as we'd like to remind you that coming up on ESPN, that's Graham Marsh. He's the defending champion of the United States Senior Open. It'll be at Riviera in Los Angeles beginning on Thursday at 3:30 Eastern and also at 7:30 Eastern time. That's the opening round of the United States Senior Open Championship. Well, as we take a look down, people gathered at their favorite location throughout the day, and there's a big television screen right down where those folks are, and they're just content to sit there and watch the action. And there you go, waving to themselves as we move back out to the 15th.
What was comfortable with the exact same amount, 120 and 26. And what I played at 143, just 46. And the wind, left to right, and probably helping just a little while.
Yeah, just like before.
Yeah, exactly.
46 total.
Yeah,
Okay with this?
love it.
Well, I got it to be 151. His caddy Andy apparently got a couple of yards less than that, but a perfectly straightforward shot. If you can remember a little while back, this is the identical shot that Jim Furyk had into the screen.
This is an 8-iron and has to miss it just a little left of the flagstick.
Wonderful golf shot by Brian Watts. He'll have that for birdie at the first playoff hole. And we had some exciting moments here today. Jimmy Roberts has got a gentleman that created one of them.
Roger, thanks so much. And Justin Rose, what a great week for you. When you went to bed last night, what were you thinking about as your expectations for this day?
Yeah, well, I try to keep the expectations sort of way down there, and I knew whatever was going to happen, I knew I was going to have a great day today, just have a lot of fun. People were pulling for me all the way around, but just to finish the way I did was just a dream come true.
Well, I was going to ask you to pick a moment from the week, but I think I know what it is, and I know you haven't seen it, so let's show it to you and you can describe it. It's on the 18th hole.
Well, I said to my caddy, well, look, this is a tough shot, but I'm just going to go for it. I've got nothing to lose. I took my lob wedge, just popped it up in the air, landed nice and soft, and oh my God.
Just the way you planned it. Now, you told me before that you had been undecided as to whether or not you were going to turn pro, but that decision has apparently been made, correct?
Well, I think, after this week, I've obviously had a lot of, this has given me a lot of confidence, and I think, next week could be my first professional tournament.
At the Dutch Open, right?
At the Dutch Open, yeah.
All right, Justin, thanks so much for stopping by. A great week for you. Let's send it back out to the course.
All right, Jimmy, thank you very much. Great story here. The 17-year-old English amateur, Justin Rose, and now our playoff, the first playoff hole, the par 5 15th, as we go back down, and Mark O'Meara's next.
This is so similar to the shot that he had the first time around, although it is a little bit easier shot, not up over the bunker. 75 feet or so of green to work with. When the ball gets on the ground, it's going to work from right to left.
So both O'Meara and Watts with very makeable birdie putts at this par 5.
Raj, Watts might be a little bit inside O'Meara, but probably a little bit tougher putt because it's left to right, and As we all know, they're more difficult than a little bit right to left, a little hook putt. And that's exactly what O'Meara has.
Curtis, he is going to ask for a rules official to determine who's away, I believe.
Well, Curtis, I think you had the good eye. It is going to be Mark who putts first.
Again, a little bit down the hill from right to left. We saw Jim Furyk earlier lose a little bit of speed and miss the hole on the left side. A little bit too much speed and you'll do the same on the right. So obviously speed is most important here. But Mark O'Meara certainly is able to handle it. He's one of our best putters on the U.S. Tour, around the world. Has a great touch. Real slow, smooth stroke. Never rushes it. Right edge with a little bit of speed.
Well, after 4 pars, that's the first birdie at the 15th this week for Mark O'Meara. So now Brian Watts. His putt for birdie.
This a pretty level putt, but again, maybe left edge, and on putts like that, you have to make sure you align yourself properly and trust your line. Stroke it right to the left edge of the hole.
So the par at 15 for Brian Watts.
So O'Meara up 1. Aggregate total for 4 holes. They keep announcing for the fans who have waited in the grandstand at 18 the results of each hole. The second it happens, and there you see it, it's O'Meara with a 1-stroke or 1-point lead, if you want to think of it in those regards at this point. It has the feel of looking like the amateur championship at the last match with everyone crowded around, and that's something Mark O'Meara would feel comfortable with. The U.S. amateur champ in 1979 when he defeated John Cook in the finals. And the first playoff hole putts went in, the score was posted. O'Meara's 1 under, Watts is even. Move over to 16. A par 4, and to call the action at the second of the 4 playoff holes, the 91 champion of the British Open, last time it was held here at Royal Birkdale, Ian Baker Finch.
Thank you, Mike. As the players make their way to the tee ground here, 416-yard par 4.
Sixteenth hole. A blind tee shot, and the reason it's blind is all the hay and sand dunes that you have to carry. A slight little dogleg to the right. The one place, again, you don't want to miss are the 2 pot bunkers on the right. The rough on the left is not very good either. After a good tee shot today, playing left to right, some help win, only left with, oh, possibly a 9-iron, maybe a pitch and wedge to a hole location today. Very front right, very accessible after a good tee shot.